way into the holidays, and Tony G is in the house, got toys. I'm surrounded by toys because you know JFL ain't letting the kids go by without getting toys. So before I get started, let me start with my homeboy, Mr. Johnny Jaguar. What's happening?
What's up, everybody? You know, this is Johnny Jaguar, a.k.a. the Ultimate Fan here. We're about to have a great show here. Man, I'm excited about this one. We haven't had anybody on like this yet, so this is going to be a first. But I want to introduce my guy over here, Mr. Hendo Claw, Big John Henderson, baby.
Ho, 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 you know what time it is. Your boy Big John Henderson, Duval Fighter. You know what I'm saying? JFL Live is in the building. And I got my boy from Nashville, Tennessee, and I'm just introducing him, CEO, TSU administration, TSU alumni, and I can't remember the sorority, so forgive me.
Fraternity.
My boy Dre, what's up, baby?
He ain't a girl.
What's going on? Sororities is girls, fraternities are guys.
Okay.
Alpha Fraternity Incorporated all day long. So how y'all doing? I'm glad to be here today, representing Music City Fire.
Music good, man. Good, man. We about to get this thing popping. But before we get it popping, Tony, hey, man, I just want to put hands down and say God is good because we got the toys, baby. It's on for JFL. Hey, good. What's
it's on,
up, man?
baby. Listen, I want to first thank J-Rue, Jack, and all the guys over at J-Rue, and Dana, and all the people that helped put these toys together. So, you know, JFL Live, you know, we're going to get these toys out to kids and make sure that some kids have a great Merry Christmas. And we wish everybody well every day. But, you know, JFL Live is all about family and taking care of the guy next to you. So that's what we're all about. So if you're looking for the word of the day for me is take care of the person next to you. That's my word. So now we're going to get out some business because I'm all excited to talk to Andre. First, we're going to talk to Dre about Big John growing up, and then we're going to talk about this. So Dre, I'm going to start this off right now. We're going to talk about John.
No. First of all, we saving that for my birthday. I told you that. You were to talk about Dre.
We'll do a little bit today. We'll do a little bit today, and then we'll really expose him on his birthday.
Oh, yeah. The fans going to love to know what John was like growing up. Was he wild like he was? Or was he a, calm young man?
Oh, Lord have mercy.
He was really calm. I was surprised once he got to college. I was like, oh, he like that animal that finally came out. You wanted to always see it, but you didn't see it. You saw it once he got to college, and it really came out when he got to the NFL. So when he was growing up, man, he was really a really humble guy. A mama's boy. I'm pretty sure he told y'all that. Like his mama is his world, So he was a really good dude, man, and really somebody a joy to always be around.
Hey, man. So guess what? We've been sitting talking about y'all.
John,
y'all
you
finna keep crying because we talk about my mom.
That was so quick. So quick, he changed the script. Enough talking about me. Let's talk about arena football.
Hey, so before we start with that,
let's let the people know about Dre. What
yes.
Talk to them about you work at TSU, you teach at TSU.
Yep. So I'm fortunate. I graduated from the Tennessee State University in Nashville, Tennessee. And there's a story to tell y'all about Tennessee State University and John Henderson. I don't know if we're gonna do that today or if we're gonna do that on birthday, but it's really a story. You know how now, and I'm sorry, I know I was doing my introduction, but you know how now all these top tier athletes are trending towards HBCUs. Mm-hmm. But I have a story.
Deion out here doing some work.
Right. I have a story about John that a lot of people don't understand, him being the National Defensive Player of the Year and where he really wanted to play football. So we'll say that. We'll save that one. I don't know if that's a birthday story. But
no, that's a now story. Cause we go talk. We want
now story.
Yeah, okay. That's a now.
Oh, he's gonna hurt the Vols fans now.
Yeah. So
Vols faithful.
That's okay.
It's the truth. So I'm a graduate of Tennessee State University. I received my doctorate in psychology from Tennessee State University. I'm now an administrator at Tennessee State University, and I also teach at Fisk University. So I really enjoy the HBCU experience and being able to give back to our community. And I'm also fortunate to be the co-owner of the Music City Fire Arena football team We're going into our second year of existence, and you know, it's a joy to now be on the other side of football. I've been on the coaching side. I've been a player, a coach, and now to be an administrator. You know, it's really exciting to be able to sit down and use my coaching skills to evaluate players with the coaching staff that we put in place. But like, I'm just really enjoying it, man. I'm just loving where I am right now. So that's just me.
Hey man, see, that's what I like. It's just, you know, it's just showing. I seen your whole thing, and that's why I'm so happy and excited for you, man. I said, look at my dog, and I'm watching him build on Facebook. Just like I see I said, they got an arena. I said, you know, I said, whoa. I said, it's big time. It's big time. You know, some people don't got all that. They building arenas and everything. I was like, oh, this is huge. And I still want to be a part. I mean, he said I'm a part, but I want to be. I can't be there because I'm in Duval, but but I know I'm still a part of it.
But as I told y'all, you know, John was one of. So I reached out to when the concept came about. John was one of 5 people that I originally reached out to. And even though he was in Jacksonville, he continued supported me. He was like, Bean, whatever you need, if you need my voice, you need my face, you need my whatever, just don't hesitate to call. And so so he is, as I said earlier, he is a part of the organization, even though he doesn't know he's a part of the organization. He is a stalwart with the Music City Fire.
Man, so how do you come up, you know, Tennessee being, you know, top 25 city in the United States, big, how do you say, hey, this big ass city, I'm gonna put an arena football team together? Like, how does that even come to fruition? Like, God, the pull from the city, getting the fun, like, how does it even come apart?
So it really was it was an idea that came about. So I had been coaching in semi-pro here locally, and there was this guy that came to town with the hopes and aspirations of starting an arena football team here. And so because I was embedded in the semi-pro circuit here in Nashville, there's some very top talented guys here. I got involved with that, but slowly realized that was a scam. And so what we found out, the guy was going from city to city, putting on these tryouts, and he was taking money, but there was nothing ever evolving from it.
Oh, wow.
So that trial, we had about 40 guys that showed up.
Damn.
And right before it happened, I told him, I said, you're not taking anybody's money. Nobody's paying. So we did the tryout. Afterwards, the guy left, and I sat down with some key friends of mine, Jonah Samuels, Maud Childress. There was Arthur Smotherman, his wife Tara Smotherman. They're the parents of Jalen Hurd.
Right.
And so we all sat down. It was like, listen, man, this is something we see that there's an interest. How can we move this forward? And so that's where the idea was birthed from. It was birthed from initially a scam that turned itself into an idea that came to fruition. Now, I have to say this. It's a very labor intensive, financial intensive project.
Yeah.
I have some funds, but I don't have that amount of funds to fund it. And so we really were, Arthur always told me, he said, he's a very spiritual person. And I am too. He said, Bean, he said, what you have to do is you have to keep moving forward like you have the funds.
Yeah.
So he said, God's going to bless it. He said, keep moving forward like we have the funds. And so that's what we kept doing. And fortunately, man, like I want to say about 4 months into it, I'm stressing. We're looking at talent. We got kids. You know, the fortunate thing about us is Nashville is centered where there were a lot of guys that were here, that live here, but they were leaving Nashville to go play arena football. Yep. And so you're talking about, I'm talking about the AFL and the NAL, because those were the top tier programs. And so there were about 15, 20 guys here locally that I'm like, I can start a team with them just off of those guys alone. And so fortunately, man, we were trying to do some promo, and we ran into this guy who I all he wanted to do was promo for us. I didn't know his background financially or nothing. And he interviewed us and he asked us about our story. And I shared what I shared with you guys. And he said, well, I'm going to do the promo for you. I'm going to do the marketing for you. And then as we began to work, he came back and he was like, I really like what you guys are doing, because not only are you putting something together, but this is about the community. And his name is Bobby Dvorsny. And Bobby Dvorsny was a godsend to us, because that's where we were able to take the business piece of it and the football sense of it and merge it together. And so we had a conversation, and he immediately came on on our board, and he helped financially. And so I didn't want him to feel as if financially he was giving. So what I did was he became my partner. So we run this together. So he handles the business side of it, I handle the football side of it, and that's what makes Music City Fire what it is.
How did the city react to it when you proposed it to them?
So because we were really huge with the Nashville Cats back in the day, and the Nashville Cats were very, very popular. They won a lot. Yeah. The city was excited, but the thing is, there had been an arena team that came before us, like right after the Cats left, called the Nashville Venom. They stayed around a couple of years, but they just disappeared. And now that those people are out in Seattle, I think his name is Billy Black. He's involved with the arena team out there, doing great things. Billy is like one of the godfathers in arena football. And so the city was very responsive to us. And that's what, you talk about how they responded. So what we decided, because at the same time, there was a soccer team coming to Nashville, right? And there was some other local things. We decided to move about 30 miles south of Nashville, and we set up shop in what is called Franklin, Tennessee. Okay. It is where majority of the Titans players actually live. Right. And so it's one of the richest counties in the state of Tennessee. And so we decided that's where we were going to call home, because we didn't want to compete in Nashville with a bigger market. And so we were out in Franklin. And man, when I tell you Williamson County, the city of Franklin, opened up that entire city to us. We have a 6,000 seat arena. It's really nice, and they have been very welcoming. They've been nothing but a true friends to us. And then we still have the Nashville market, because a lot of guys, it's just a 20 minute drive to Nashville. A lot of our players live in Nashville, so that fan base is gonna come.
Right. So
that's beautiful, man. So let me ask you this. First day, you sit down, co-owner. You sit in the chair. You get ready to do business. What does Dre Bean say to himself the first day?
hey, hold on. Don't get it twisted though. He has some drama. See, we can't leave the drama out. Hey, boy, you don't mind,
yeah. You holding out on us?
Well, you had drama before?
You can see it in his Facebook. I mean, he went on. It was one of the coaches. But we ain't got to get into that.
I'll answer your question, but I'll get to John. So originally, when I sat in the seat and this thing was taking off, I'm a type A personality person. Yeah. So I built the people around us to kind of meet what they were good at. Again, I'm in leadership. I teach leadership for a living. And so now I'm sitting at the head. And so it was, the original thought was, what in the world have you stepped into? What were you thinking? Like, where did you have the audacity to believe that you could do this? Good. And so that was the first thing that I said. And I was like, then I'm looking around and I'm like, okay, these people are depending on you. And so you've said that you're going to do this, so you have no choice but to do this.
You can do it. We already knew you could do it.
So when did you want to go back? Like, when did you want to go back? Like, I don't know if I can do this. Like, what? Like 1 month, 2 months, 3 months? When did you start doubting?
Well, no, Joe, it was about that 4th month when I'm looking around and I'm thinking like we really don't have any money. So everything is moving. I reached out to a friend of mine who's really good with graphics. He designed the logo. I reached out to another friend of mine who owns a uniform company. He designed the uniform. So we're moving forward, but it's like, so everything I'm doing is coming out of pocket. That's fine at this small scale. I can pay stuff out of pocket. But now it's like, okay, we need to start marketing heavy scale. And it's like,
and you got to pay people.
I got to pay people. So it's like, now, hey guys, what can we do in lieu of being paid? so initially it was a lot of bartering that happened. And like I said, that 4th month meeting Bobby Dvorsny, that's what eased the burden, the heavy load that was on my back. Now, the story John's talking about is, so I'm very strategic and smart about a lot of things I do in my life, personally and professionally. And so, again, I told you guys that Nashville is a hotbed for arena football guys because of Nashville Cats. And so a lot of those guys still live here locally, or they're from here. And one of the people that I originally reached out to become the head coach is Corey Fleming. He is in the Arena Football Hall of Fame. He played here in Nashville with the Cats, and he helped really establish the Nashville Cats winning. He played at UT. He played the Dallas Cowboys with Irving with the year they won the Super Bowl, and then he went out to San Francisco. So in my head, again, I gotta have some big names to draw people into this, especially when we're talking about sponsorships. And so it was perfect. Right. Now I have trust issues. I'm just not gonna turn my entire thing over to anybody. And so there were some things that happened with Mr. Fleming. Ultimately, we had to part way. I had to basically say, you got to go. So Mr. Fleming decides to go on social media and really berate me really, really bad. I called Joe about it. How
mad was he?
He was really bad. He talked about my foot. He told me I didn't know football. I never would make this work. I didn't know anything of how could I fire somebody who was a Super Bowl champion, arena football.
He do that at you?
Oh, he has a big ego.
Hey, listen, he let me have it. Now, Joe knows me personally.
Yeah.
Joe knows in my old days, I fight. And so I'm like, I'm about to go find him. I'm not doing this Facebook stuff. And we're about to handle this like some men.
You big man, big dog.
He was like, no, it's not worth it. Just leave it alone. And it took a lot in me not to respond to him. And so fortunately, I was already in the works of talking with the person who is now our head coach to come on and do some, because I was just concerned. There was some stuff going on. I was concerned about Corey Fleming, and I wanted to, just make sure I had a backup plan. And so we were fortunate enough to land a head coach, Joe Campbell, local guy, played at Stratford, MTSU. He played with the St. Louis Rams. He played with.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah. So Joe Campbell was he was like Bobby Dvorsny. He was God sent at a time when we really needed him, because me being able to post that Joe Campbell was now the head coach quelled a lot of stuff that Corey Fleming was saying about me not having knowledge about the game. Right.
And this happened before a game even started, correct?
Yeah. This week, listen, I think we had only signed about 8 players. This is in the midst of us signing players. This is in the midst of us trying to establish ourselves. And, and I'm dealing with being berated on Facebook by someone who was terminated. Now, I never really talked about why the person was terminated, because I didn't think it was really personal. and it
Right.
wasn't worth it. So I just let it go, and fortunately, things moved along, and it was the best decision for our organization that we made. And so when we talk about our first and only win of the AAL, because we are the AAL champions, because we won the one game that was played this year.
Cause of what? Cause of what? COVID-19.
COVID-19.
So y'all it's getting ready to start up, right?
Right.
So how is it now with everything? So y'all playing now, right?
Well, we are right in that place where we should be in training. Not training. Yeah, we should be getting ready to start up working out conditioning. But if you guys don't know, Tennessee is one of the hot spots for COVID right now.
Yeah.
Yes.
And so we are not gathering, doing anything. And so hopefully by the middle of the end of January, we'll be able to get back together. The one thing that we want to do, because we had we were an upstart team last year, we want to keep that team intact. There are some people that we're going to add. We lost our quarterback. He's going over Germany to play football. And so, but that's the nature of arena. But we have to, we've been getting a lot of film with quarterbacks and alignment. So there's a couple small pieces we need to plug in. But for the most part, we're going to bring our team back because we feel we had something special. We went to Michigan and beat the Michigan Ironmen. They hadn't lost in their home facility in 5 years. We were the first team to beat them in there. And so for me, that let me know. So I kind of get back to why I finally did make a post and say, this is for all of those who told me I didn't know what I was doing.
Yeah.
So you get to have that conversation. You get to say, I was validated in my decisions, and I know what I'm doing. I know football talent. I know how to look at football talent and putting this thing together. And then I was blessed to be able to, once Joe came on board, to start being able to release some of that control that I had, because now I have somebody I trust completely and wholly to make decisions about the talent that's going to make up the team.
So I love how you talked about that.
Hold on, cause we know we got to switch it up, cause we got to get into some other stuff before we got. So let me do this. Let's just turn this around to black colleges and talk about it a little bit, because y'all play Dion now, right? Y'all play JSU this year?
Yeah, we do. We play JSU every year.
So I guess one of the questions I want to know, man, is like everything that Dion doing, do you think this going to be a trend? I mean, it should be a trend for black colleges, man, because, man, I'm excited about it. I don't know why, but it's just to see they finna be on different levels. Everything on just, they finna be on, it's just gonna be crazy, man. I'm just wondering your perspective about this. I know you got a lot because I seen it in the text.
Yeah. So I'm a little. I'm not gonna lie. I bleed blue. I bleed TSU blue.
Right.
I am excited and happy for what is happening at Jackson State University.
Right.
I think in order for it to happen, for other institutions, we're gonna have to get those big name players like a Dion.
Yes.
We cannot keep hiring. My conversation in our text group was, look, the NFL don't want to hire Eric Bieniemy. TSU go after it.
Right. Okay.
Let's go get him. He's proven it with Kansas City. He knows what he's doing. Let's go get him. Give him an opportunity. This will give him a chance to show he can coach. I think what I appreciate about Jackson State has done is that they took a chance. They asked the question.
Right.
They asked Dion, "Will you come here?" And Dion said yes. Nobody thought that. And so it kind of segues into my conversation I was going to talk about with Joe, is that I watched him from his freshman year to his senior year play football. I know how close Joe is to his mom, and I know that Joe would have never left this city. If TSU would have recruited Joe, he would have gone to Tennessee State University and he would have played his college football at Tennessee State University.
Yes.
Not only would they have gotten John, but they would have gotten 6 other D1 players that would have followed him just because he went there, that played on that championship team. Then you're talking about the other D1 players in the city that would have seen John Henderson at Tennessee State University that would have come along. There's another kid, a D tackle that played at our rival at White Creek, Ahmad Childress. He's now our defensive offensive line coach on the arena team. He ended up going to play at Alabama, but he said the same thing. If John would have gone, he graduated a year after Joe. If John would have gone to Tennessee State University, there would have been no question where he would have went and played football.
Hey,
but
Dre.
the fact that TSU never recruited John because they did not feel as if they had a chance, but they didn't know. All they had to do was ask John to come, and he would have shut everybody. Florida State, Nebraska, Oklahoma, Tennessee, none of them would have had a chance if they just went and said
Let me show you. No, but hold on. It was, I went to TSU for a visit. Not my senior year, not my junior year. Sophomore, one of those. I don't remember the coach, man, at that time. But man, let me tell you, when I went on campus, I was like, when I went to the cafeteria, I fell in love. Man, I'm there, boy, let me tell you, 6-1, that's all I'm gonna say. 6-1 at that time. But he told me, he said, I know you going to a D1 school. So he never tried. He didn't. I ain't getting no letters from TSU or anything. And I was like, I would have stayed. Man, I'm a mama's boy. I was trying to, I would have went to Vanderbilt. I was even thinking about Vanderbilt. But I saw what they did to Charles Hathaway and Ron Mercer. Them, I just, I counted them out because I didn't want to go through that. But man, you right, bro. I mean, now what I'm seeing, oh man, look here, man.
He's stealing players now.
I bleed on, but what they doing now, man, it's going to be a whole change.
And Andre, that's a fact. That's that, believe it or not, that still happens. So I was we've had a couple of kids on the show that's coming out. I mean, top name kids. I mean, making the news every day. And do you know, out of the 6 kids that I've talked to, running backs, cornerbacks, D linemen, do you know that they haven't? None of the schools reached out to them. It's crazy. And I'm like, how can that be?
It's like they give up. It
makes no sense.
They don't even try. And they don't know that for us, all we want is for someone to come and say, we see you. And
yes.
Because you're looking at it as if it's your own. Like all I'm doing is going home. If you think about it, 90% of these top kids are at programs where they are, the schools are 90% African-American, right? Or the program is 90% African-American. So it's about going in comfort. Now, here's the thing that Deion has to do, which is already happening. The money is pouring into that institution. He's already looking at facilities, uniforms, making them. You gotta have a marketable place to show these kids that, hey, we may not be D1, we don't have the facilities that Alabama got, but we do have very nice facilities. And one thing I can say about TSU is we have our own. We got an indoor bubble.
Y'all have a heck of a facility.
We got nice facilities.
Yeah.
You have to show those things to the kids. It's like, listen, and then it's also about who's going to teach your child while they're there.
Yes.
Like, at the end of the day, these kids got aspirations to go to the league. And so you have to have people on your coaching staff that's been there, done that. That's the reason why my Music City Fire coaching staff, majority of them, all of them played college football, and out of the 5 of them, 4 of them played in the league. Wow. Because the aspiration of these guys is, I'm not done playing football. I still want a chance, whether I go overseas, whether I go Canadian, or at least just get an opportunity again to get into an NFL camp. I have 2 receivers. One was in the Jets camp, one was in the Panthers camp, and that's their goal, is to get back there again. And so to tag this to the HBCU whole movement now is the reason why Deion is winning is because Deion has proven that I've played at this top level, and I can coach you to get you to that top level. And you have to have people at least 2 or 3 coaches where they look at it and say, okay, you played in the league. That was one of the reasons, God rest his soul, when Shannon was with us and he passed over the summer in the car accident. It was one of the I'm sorry, not Shannon, Travaris Jackson. When he passed over the summer, he was a quarterbacks coach at TSU. Man, that made quarterbacks want to come to TSU because they know that he played in the league. He was top quarterback in the league. And so now you look at our staff, and yes, it's some good people. Right now we're called offensive linemen because the majority of the guys that come out of TSU that go to the league are offensive linemen.
Wow.
So how do you think Florida State feels now that Deion, was it like 2 days ago, stole one of their top talents already?
Oh, he's gonna be. They might as well get ready for it.
They're gonna steal much more. But it goes back to what you said, Andre. Florida State never ever went to Deion and said, "Hey man, won't you come coach Florida State?"
They were going all
never
around.
have they done that.
They were going around him. They was going around. It's like you never. It's the old adage: closed mouths don't get fed. You never gonna know until you ask. The only thing somebody can tell you is yes or no. That's it. And what prevents people from asking a question, and I'm getting it psychological, is they don't want to hear no. That's what prevents us. That's what prevents us from asking questions. But you just might get a yes. And so I here's the thing that I do know. Everyone in the South, from Texas, Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia, and Florida, are put on notice by Deion.
Yes.
He's recruiting all of those states.
Hard.
He coached high school in Texas. He's coaching college in Mississippi. He played football in Georgia. He played NFL in Georgia. That he's running the gamut.
But is he violating? He's not doing that.
No,
right?
He's not. Okay, no, he's recruiting. Now they are under some sanction about something that happened, but it didn't have anything to do with Deion.
Oh, okay. I'm just because he always with the kids, and you see him with his son. They go to all the camps, but he can't do that no more.
Y'all do know both his sons have transferred into Jackson State,
man.
Right?
Did you see that?
His son
what does that leave?
South Carolina.
Where does that leave TCU?
For us.
So, and I'm gonna tell you where I'm going with this.
Yeah.
And for the last 2 weeks, I've said this. I kind of hinted this out, and I ain't talked to him in a long time, but I've been around this game a long time. 2 things I feel passionate about is teams, whether it's college, arena, or NFL, going back to their roots and getting NFL players for leadership. Mm-hmm. And the other thing is making sure that somebody's able to come in the building and talk business with players. Like with John, later in his career, John and I began to talk business. I'm very deep in logistics and warehousing and all of that stuff. So, I started teaching John a lot about it, introducing him to the business. And then as I started doing that, John said, man, if 50% of the players in the NFL sat down with you, they wouldn't go buy a club.
Exactly.
And so we talk about that, not seriously about what we're going to do in 2021, me, Johnny Jaguar, and John, and that is, bringing that to the table to all types of players and saying, hey, man, listen, I can take a group of players and take them to companies and show them this is what you can do on the outside. And so when you're done with football, this is what you can do. So then I think about what NFL players can offer. And so this is the second week I'm going to say this. You got a guy like Lavernius Coles, who is very, very great in business, has a lot to offer. And it's amazing to me that he doesn't get 1,000 phone calls a week to say, hey, man, listen, we need you. I'm talking about a mature guy. We know he did good on contracts because he probably made one of the best contract deals in anybody in the NFL. And he has a lot to offer talent-wise, but nobody really reaches out to him and says, hey, man, we need you. What is it going to take? Again, it's that Deion Sanders syndrome. Oh, he's going to say no. Well, hell, you don't know if he's going to say no.
Yeah.
I mean,
So let me tread lightly on this one because I am an employee at the school. So I dare not want to get in trouble by our great esteemed president or anyone at the university. However, I will say that I think we are moving in a great direction with our recent our athletic director retired. And so we now have a new athletic director, full of energy. Matter of fact, played with Joe at UT, Mickey Allen. He's our new AD.
Hey.
So I think his connections of how a Power 5 institution runs is going to help us. Yeah. And I think he's going to be able to help look at the landscape of the direction that the football organization goes. So
that was great.
Yeah. I want to think about it.
So, Andre, I have a question for you.
He gonna do it. I know.
Go ahead, Andre, so Jacksonville, we've been struggling a lot lately. We fired the GM.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking with you,
here we go.
You know, you're Shad Khan, owner, CEO.
Yeah.
What do you look for a general manager? And then, as far as what do you look for a coach? Because the fans want to know. They want, Peyton Manning. They want Bubby Brooks. They want these top tier guys. What do you look for in a general manager? And then from there, what do you look for in a coach? The best, have you guys win.
So I'm serving as the GM. So I look for myself.
We'll talk coaching then. We don't want to replace
So and the thing is, I was asked because I've been in coaching for so long, was I gonna coach the Music City Fire? And I told him no, I'm not. One, because my knowledge of arena was not as it's non-existent. I played outdoor football forever. And so what I look for in a GM, absent of myself, because I am in the process of thinking about okay, I need to step out of this role and kind of feel it. What I'm looking for is someone that has football acumen, right?
Yes.
They have to have football acumen. And so what I mean by that is they have to have business savvy when it comes to football. You have to know the ins and outs of football. I'm not talking about the X's and the O's, but I'm talking about understanding the personality of football, the understanding of when you hire a head coach, that head coach is a representation of the organization.
Correct.
As much as, it works well in NFL because the head coach gets to take on a certain responsibility with the organization. With Arena, the head coach is the face of the organization. And for me, I had to say, who will fit the Music City Fire model to represent us when I'm not around? And and there was he coached the MTSU, Boots Donnelly, asked our director of marketing this question. He said, Arthur, if you and Bean are not present, will you be able to allow your head coach to represent your organization when you're not there? And that's what I look for someone that is able to speak about things without asking me because they know me. And that's what I have in Joe Campbell, right? So for me, Joe will say, Bean, listen, we just had this conversation 2 nights ago. I was telling you about the quarterback, Bean. I sent them the film, and I watch film, but I don't make comments to my coaches. Like I watch it and I just send the film to them. He looked at the film. He said, Bean, we got to get this guy. We got to sign this guy right now. He said, I like him. He was like, man, he's this, he's that. He started saying everything that I was thinking. And for me, that's the type of head coach I want. Not somebody who's going to agree and think exactly like me, but in the initial concept of watching film, we're on the same page.
Yes. And
if we're not, let's talk about why it is that you want this guy so bad. Because we've had those conversations. He wanted someone that I just felt that didn't fit the mold. And when I broke down why I didn't think he was a good fit for Music City Fire, he's like, okay, let's move on. And we've had the vice versa conversation where he's like, no, he's like, Bean, this is why this guy is gonna fit in our defense. And I didn't want to sign the kid. I signed the kid, and then in that first game we played, the kid made me eat every thought and notion of why I didn't want to sign him, because when he stepped on that field, everything that Coach Campbell said about the kid came to fruition.
And it's a business, and I say this all the time. Your business is my business.
Exactly.
It's anybody else's business. Like right now. I work for an owner that we're trying to get to know each other, but you know, he doesn't say, hey, you're gonna do this, and that's the way it is, because if you do that, then what's the use of having me around?
Exactly.
But so I get it. In ownership, sometimes you have to say, okay, listen, I don't agree, but I trust you.
Exactly.
And so when you work, I love working for the guy I work for now, because he says, hey, look, I don't agree, but I trust you. Right. But if we have to talk about this 3 months from now, I'm gonna remind you.
and he'll tell me that. He was like, listen, Bean, listen, I know this is not where you want to go, but like, I promise you, whatever happens, I'm gonna take. I'll bite the bullet on it, and that's
take responsibility.
I like him, because he'll tell me up front, this is what I want to do, this is the direction I want to go, and if it don't work out, I'm not gonna look at you and throw the blame somewhere else. He was like, no, I'll take full responsibility for it. And that's what I respect about him. And same thing with my partner, Bobby Dvorsky. Like, he'll come to me, he'll say, situation with the kid I didn't want to sign. He came in, he was like, hey man, like, you know, talk to me a little bit about what your reservations are. And I told him, and he was like, but this kid can help us. I was like, yeah, but there's something else with this kid that's not sitting well with me. And then so he was like, okay, I support you 100%. And again, I had to eat crow, because the football aspect of him worked out very well, and the concerns I had of him as a person disappeared.
Wow.
So and that comes from leadership.
Exactly.
So your coach was able to take that leadership and say, okay, I'm gonna get rid of all this personal stuff, and we're gonna deal with business. Yeah. And if your business is great, it's gonna make your personal life great. And so I'm with you, and I think it's a very good learning experience for anybody. When you're an owner, I think that good owners listen to their people, and good owners do not, good owners, good managers, good leaders don't always stand up and say, hey, is this right? And they don't want everybody to say yes, because if you pay everybody and everybody say yes to you, you're going to fail.
Exactly.
So, Andre, so let me ask you this. Let's say you hired your coach and you guys weren't really on the same page. How hard do you think it would be for you, the disconnect for you guys to get together and the team performance? Because, like, I feel like with the Jags, for example, like, the coach and the GM really weren't on the same page. So how do you think that would affect you guys?
So are you trying to tell him, will he fire a coach during the middle of the season?
Yes. Would you do that? Would you make him play the rest of the year?
I think for me personally, I would let it play out for the rest of the season, especially if we're already in a place to where things are going bad anyway. Because what happens, this is the philosophy I have from administrative side. If I bring someone in midway, that person's going to come in with their own philosophy. That's midway through the season, the new teaching has to begin. It has to happen. And it's going to throw off the chemistry of everything, even though the chemistry is not there. Right. Does that make sense? Yeah, I think you, from a learning aspect, like football, people think that you just wake up and go play. Football is about learning. There's so much you have to learn about the game of football, and it's a job. Right, and you have to learn somebody's philosophy.
Yes,
you have to learn. You have to get accustomed to somebody's personality. So for me, unless it was just like real detrimental, the head coach was just arrogant and cursing, and but if we're already, it's like, hey guys, we're gonna take our stripes each week, but do know at the end of the season, everybody's up for evaluation.
So so basically I'm gonna come off and say, Jags gonna win this Sunday. Let's go.
Me too.
Yeah.
I'm
Me
not. I'm
too.
gonna be relaxed.
Who do y'all see? I like Jolly Jaguar. Like, who do y'all play this weekend?
We played Raven.
The Ravens, no
We
chance.
played Calais and
Yannick.
They motivated.
And he talking shit.
Hey, they motivated. Joe, y'all gonna lose.
No, we not. Look, see, that's what
We ain't gonna lose.
I'm a player.
Uh-huh.
I'm not going there thinking I'm finna lose. I don't care how great the team is.
Well, you're right. You're right from a player perspective.
That's why I stay here.
I know. I see it every week, Joe. That's
But
why.
he's gonna keep it real like me, Joe.
Yeah, that's why.
We're losing.
Oh, you want to keep it real? Since we ain't got much time left, we got about 10. Go on and tell them what you said about this Pittsburgh Steelers then. You want to talk shit.
But look, hold on.
They are the worst 11-2 team ever.
No, hold on, Paul. Let's talk about this. So hold on. One thing I will say is I've already won money off of Joe. I wish I knew the two of y'all. I would have got money off of y'all when we played y'all.
No, I bet smart.
Okay, so here's the thing with us right now. It was fine for us to have lost Devin Bush because we still book in our linebacker and DE. That helped us. When Bud Dupree went down, that gave everybody the opportunity to now double team White.
Next man up.
We don't have any pressure up front every 3 or 4 plays. But the biggest thing that's killing us is we're throwing the ball 50 times a game. Our run game is non-existent. So people think our defense is bad. Our defense isn't bad. Our defense is on the field too much because we're going 3 and out, 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 4 and out, 6 and out, 4 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out. They're coming out the field. The offense is coming out the field too fast. We have to, our run game has to get back. Now, we're not the worst 11-1 team by far. 11-2. Anyway,
John. So I'm glad you brought it because he's agreeing with me because he brought the point of his struggling issues with the team.
Yeah, we're struggling right now. I'm not gonna deny it. We're struggling. We don't, and Joe knows this because I say this in our chat group. If we don't figure out a run game, we're gonna be 1 and out.
Yeah.
For the playoffs.
Yeah.
And that's being a football person, not a football fan.
So I've figured it out now. Now that y'all said all that, before we go, John, Big John, I know what we're going to do for our life going forward. Me and you going to go be a scout because everybody's scouting bad.
Yeah, man. It's crazy, man.
That's crazy. I'm going to be a scout. That's going to be my next job because I see now college scouting bad, NFL scouting bad. I got a job.
So with the arena, speaking of scouting, so do you do all the scouting or do you guys have a scouting department in the arena league that goes and looks for talent?
Well, we do our own scouting. Again, I have, the fortunate thing for me, I have guys who are connected to colleges. I'm sitting like 6 of our players are former TSU football players.
Oh, wow.
Mainly because I've watched them since they got on campus. And these are guys who they were good enough to get into camps, but they got cut. So right. I have my coaches are connected to other colleges. My defensive lineman coach, his college football, one of his college players that he played with in college, coaches at Clemson. He's a defensive tackle coach at Clemson. So
our new quarterback we're getting.
Yeah, so he it's gonna be a fight between y'all and somebody else. So, but
don't start that conversation.
So recruiting, the thing about arena is these guys will send their own films out, and so our Instagram and Facebook is flooded with guys sending their college highlight films out. And that's crazy. So the good thing is I don't have to do a lot of recruiting. So we bring guys in, we look at their film, we bring them in for a private workout, and then we'll bring them in for a 2-day contract, and then let them try to work their way to a full contract. And that's how recruiting goes for us. And so we've been very fortunate.
Now, the full contract, 1 year, 2 years, 10 years, 5 years?
It's a 1 year but it's an at-will contract. You know, you can sign for a year and have a bad 2 games, and this is not gonna work.
Yeah.
And we gotta let you
So
go.
it's cutthroat like the NFL, then you're saying?
Oh yeah, it is.
It gotta be.
It has to be.
It's gotta be.
It has to be. And so, you know, we're fortunate that we're centered in a place to where there are a lot of colleges around us. A lot of these guys, they're not NFL material, but they're good enough to keep playing football.
Yeah.
And those are the guys that we keep finding.
Okay.
That's crazy.
Well, hey, man, look, man, I know it's about that time, man. And Dre, man, I just want to tell you thank you, bro, for coming on and sharing your story and telling people about the Music City Fire.
Hey, show the fans the jersey, man. I love the jersey.
Boy.
I'm wondering if
Y'all
I hope, because I have this backdrop on, but
put it, put it a little close. Oh, the backdrop, the backdrop.
But yeah, so I'm gonna send you guys some I'm gonna send you some hoodies, some hats.
It's cold here, man. It was 34 degrees last night.
I'm telling you, I need it.
I'm gonna send you guys out some stuff, man. I really do appreciate you having me on, especially for the market that you guys are in. It just helps us, and so I'm appreciative of the opportunity to talk. I love my little big brother, as I call him. He's my little big brother. And it was a pleasure to talk to the two of you. I'm looking forward to establish a relationship. And when we come down to Tampa, you guys will be there as guests of mine.
I'm there. All I need is a schedule. I'm there.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, I appreciate you joining in JFL Live. I can't talk too much because I got a little cold in me, so I'm gonna keep it like this. JFL Live, we love you. Merry Christmas, ho ho. It's
ho ho ho.
Like Christmas, everywhere I go. We out here, baby. Do what we will, baby.